Jerusalem Delivered by Torquato Tasso. Fourth Book. Satan his fiends and spirits assembleth all, and sends them forth to work the Christians' woe. False Hydraort their aid from hell doth call, and sends Armida to entrap his foe. She tells her birth, her fortune, and her fall, asks aid, allures and wins the worthies so, that they consent her enterprise to prove. She wins them with deceit, craft, beauty, love. While thus their work went on with lucky speed, and reared rams their horned fronts advance, the ancient foe to man and mortal seed, his wannish eyes upon them bent askance. And when he saw their labours well succeed, he wept for rage, and threatened dire mischance. He choked his curses, to himself he spake, such noise wild bulls that softly bellow make. At last resolving in his damned thought to find some let to stop their warlike feet, he gave command his princes should be brought before the throne of his infernal seat. O fool! As if it were a thing of naught God to resist, or change his purpose great, who on his foes doth thunder in his ire, whose arrows hailstones he in coals of fire. The dreary trumpet blew a dreadful blast, and rumbled through the lands and kingdoms under. Through wasteness wide it roared, in hollows vast, and filled the deep with horror, fear, and wonder. Not half so dreadful noise the tempests cast, that fall from skies with storms of hail and thunder. Not half so loud the whistling winds do sing, broke from the earthen prisons of their king. The peers of Pluto's realm assembled been, amid the palace of their angry king, in hideous forms and shapes tofore unseen, that fear, death, terror, and amazement bring. With ugly paws some trample on the green, some gnaw the snakes that on their shoulders hing, and some their forked tails stretch forth on high, and tear the twinkling stars from trembling sky. There were Silenus' foul and loathsome rout, there sphinxes, centaurs, there were Gorgons fell, there howling Scyllas yawling round about, there serpents hiss, there seven-mouthed hydras yell. Chimera there spews fire and brimstone out, and Polyphemus blind supporteth hell. Besides 10,000 monsters therein dwells, misshaped, unlike themselves, and like naught else. About their princes each took his wonted seat on thrones red hot, y-built of burning brass. Pluto in middest heaved his trident great, of rusty iron huge that forged was. The rocks on which the salt sea billows beat, and Atlas's tops, the clouds in height that pass, compared to his huge person, molehills be. So his rough front, his horns so lifted he. The tyrant proud frowned from his lofty cell, and with his looks made all his monsters tremble. His eyes, that full of rage and venom swell, two beacons seem, that men to arms assemble. His feltered locks, that on his bosom fell, on rugged mountains, briars, and thorns resemble. His yawning mouth, that foamed clotted blood, gaped like a whirlpool wide in Stygian flood. And as Mount Etna vomits sulphur out, with cliffs of burning crags and fire and smoke, so from his mouth flew kindled coals about, hot sparks and smells that man and beast would choke. The gnawing porter durst not whine for doubt. Still were the Furies while their sovereign spoke, and swift Cocytus stayed his murmur shrill, while thus the murderer thundered out his will.